news. Alright, today I have some bad news. So how many of you are willing to listen to some bad news today? There are a few brave hearts here today. Right? Because there were many confusions on the way for me, as I wanted to get a direct darshan of Sri Krishna. Dear devotees, since the beginning of my spiritual life, I had this immense desire that I wanted to see Krishna face to face on some particular day. And ever since I came in the association of devotees, I had this desire. And there were many letters by Srila Prabhupada which encouraged that I should follow the process, and one particular day I will see Krishna face to face. So I will show one such letter, dear devotees. And Acharya Narottam Prabhu, you can kindly read out what Srila Prabhupada says in a letter on 13 November 1969. Please read out loudly.
Krishna being the father of all living, Krishna being the father of all living entities is supplying the bare necessities of their life. But for his devotees, he has got a special attention. So depend on Krishna. Chant regularly Hare Krishna, and you will find that he is talking with you face to face. What to speak is supplying your necessities. This is a great science, and please try to understand it nicely.
Yes. So Srila Prabhupada is very clearly saying here, depend on Krishna, chant regularly Hare Krishna, and you will find that he is talking with you face to face. When I read such letters, I was very much encouraged that I also want to see Krishna face to face, dear devotees. I hope you are also encouraged. And I also started following the process very rigorously. But there was some bad news on the way, dear devotees. Not only Srila Prabhupada, the previous acharyas also had the same message. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, in one of his songs, he says as follows in the Kalyana Kalpataru. I will sing this song, please repeat after me. Janama Safalata
Janama Safalata
Krishna Darshanaya
Krishna
Aage hoy ache ek baar. Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Janama Safalatar. His life is successful. Krishna Darshana Jar Bhagye. In whose good fortune there is darshan of Krishna. How many times? Ek bar. What is the meaning of ek bar? Once. So this is the translation. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, can you kindly read the translation?
His life is successful who has obtained a darshan of Krishna at least once in his life.
So I'm very eager, dear devotees, at least once if I can get darshan of Krishna, then I am assured that I will be successful in attaining the goal of life. This hope to see him once in life is also made more intense by a statement of Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, where Rupa Goswami says that if somebody has a darshan of Krishna once in their life, that happiness is greater than any happiness that they have experienced till now. He quotes a statement by Dhruva Maharaj, and this is the statement that Srila Rupa Goswami gives in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. Please repeat after me, dear devotees. Tvat sakshat karanahlada Vishuddhabhi sthitasya me Sukhani goshpadayante Brahmanyapi jagat guru. Tvat sakshat karan, directly seeing you, O Krishna. Ahlada gives such a nice pleasure. Vishuddhabhi, it is like an ocean of pleasure. Thitasya me, and once I am situated in this ocean of pleasure, Sukhani goshpadayante, all other pleasures become as insignificant as water in the hoof print of a calf. Brahmanyapi, even the happiness of merging in the impersonal Brahman becomes very insignificant in front of seeing Krishna face to face. This is the translation. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, kindly read.
My dear Lord, O Master of the universe, since I have directly seen you, my transcendental bliss has taken the shape of a great ocean. Being situated in that ocean, I now realize all other so-called happiness to be like the water contained in the footprint of a calf.
So, dear devotees, once I read all these statements, I was very eager that I want to see Krishna face to face in this very life. And I tried to find out if there is any qualification mentioned in the scriptures for getting a darshan of Shri Krishna. I tried to find out a lot in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, but I could not easily find something about the qualification to get darshan of Shri Krishna. So although I read through the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it was difficult for me to understand how to get a darshan of Shri Krishna. And if I would go to the devotees and say, I want to get a darshan of Krishna, the devotees would say, well, come to the temple, there is the deity, I know, here he is. Are you not getting darshan, dear devotees? Yes, of course you are getting darshan. But, I know that this is darshan, but the darshan that I am speaking about, dear devotees, is Sakshat darshan. Sakshat darshan is, seeing Krishna directly, face to face. That is what I was speaking about. It was very difficult for me to convince the devotees that I am speaking of a different type of darshan. Finally, my confusion was relieved when I found that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he draws a roadmap, 14 stages of progress in devotional service, in which one of the stages is darshan of Shri Krishna. Dear devotees, would you like to hear about the 14 stages of progress in which you can get a darshan of Shri Krishna?
Yes.
So, dear devotees, in his commentary to the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ends up composing new verses in which he gives 14 stages of progress. I will recite these verses, kindly repeat after. Satam kripa mahat seva yatha guru padashrayah Ajaneshu spriha bhakti anartha pagamastatah Nishtha ruchir atha sakti rati prematha darshanam parer madhuryanubhava The devotees, let's count the steps of progress in our devotional service. Step 1, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Satam Kripa. First step is mercy of sadhus. Without mercy of sadhus, our devotional life cannot begin. Second, Mahat Seva, service to those sadhus. Step 3, Shraddha. Dear devotees, what is the meaning of Shraddha? Faith. Faith in what?
In scripture.
Scriptures. Implicit faith in the scriptures. Fourth, Guru Padashraya. The scriptures tell you, take shelter of a guru. Step 4, you take shelter of a guru. Step 5, Bhajaneshu Spriha, a desire to perform bhajan, actual devotional service. Step 6, Bhakti, actual bhajan. Step 7, Anartha Apagamat, destruction of anarthas. Step 8, Nishtha, fixed devotional service. Step 9, Ruchi, some taste is attained. Step 10, Asakti, feeling of I and mind towards Krishna begins. Step 11, Rati, the stage of Bhav arises. And step 12, what is the step 12, dear devotees? And after step 12 is step 13. What is step 13? And darshan is not the final stage of progress, because darshan is experience of Hari through the eyes. Step 14 is experience of Hari through all the senses. Harer madhurya anubhava, and a complete experience of the sweetness of Hari through all the senses, through the ears, through the eyes, through the nose, etc. These are the 14 stages of progress in the devotional life of a particular individual. As soon as I heard this, I was very happy. Now I know which stage number is darshan, dear devotees. 13. So in order to get to stage number 13, I should reach stage number What is stage number 12?
Prema.
All right. So let's roll up our sleeves, dear devotees. I was very happy. At least somebody told me that I should first have Krishna Prem and then I will be able to attain darshan of Sri Krishna. I was very, very happy at this point of time. At least somebody drew a roadmap for me. I was happily practicing my Krishna Bhakti. But on the way, dear devotees, there was a bigger confusion. And this bigger confusion arose when I was reading through the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In general, I have a habit of reading daily through some literature of the previous acharyas. I was reading through Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and there was nothing specific about darshan. I was reading and Srila Rupa Goswami was describing the history of a devotee carpenter in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This carpenter used to worship a deity of Bal Gopal, Laddu Gopal. And Sri Rupa Goswami composes a few verses and describes how this elderly carpenter worshipped Krishna in the mood of a father. Here are the direct verses from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Please repeat after me. तथा हि श्रूयते शास्त्रे कश्चित् कुरुपुरी स्थिता नन्दसूनोरधिष्ठानम् तत्र पुत्रतया भजन् नारदस्योपदेशेन सिद्धो भूद्वृद्धवार्धकी तथा हि श्रूयते शास्त्रे. Now it is heard in Shastra. Rupa Goswami saying in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Kaschit, there is some individual. Kurupuri sthitaha. He was situated in Kurupuri, in Kurukshetra. What was he doing? Nanda Sunor Adhishchanam. He was worshipping a deity of the son of Nanda Maharaj. He was worshipping a deity of Bal Gopal. How was he worshipping? Tatra Putra Taya Bhajan. He was worshipping this deity in the mood of a son, by considering the deity his son. By whose instructions? Naradasya Upadeshena. By whose instructions, dear devotees? Siddho Bhut. This person attained perfection. Who was he? Vriddha Vardhaki, old carpenter, staying in Kurukshetra. Dear devotees, this is the history of a carpenter who used to stay in Dwapar Yuga, much before the appearance of Shri Krishna. He used to worship a deity of Shri Krishna as a child by considering himself as a father of that child. Nothing about darshan here, dear devotees, but this particular verse ended up confusing me a lot. This is the translation. Nameshwar Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
The scriptures describe a certain aged carpenter residing at Kurukshetra who worshipped the deity of Krishna in the mood of a father according to Sri Narada's instructions. Thus he attained perfection.
Dear devotees, anything about darshan in this verse? No. So I also have a habit when I read a particular verse, I also look into the commentaries. So I started looking into the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on this verse. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes something about this particular verse. I am specifying the direct words of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Dear devotees, please repeat after me. Pratima iti anena iyam seva na vrajendrasya bhava cheshtita anusarini yeya. Pratima iti. He's saying the carpenter is serving a pratima, a deity of Krishna in the mood of father. But now Vrajendrasya bhava cheshtita anusarini. But his service was never like the service rendered by Nanda Maharaj. Although this carpenter was serving Krishna in the mood of a father, but his service was never like the service of Nanda Maharaj. Question arises, why? In reply to this, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says something. Please repeat after me. Tena tu sakshat Shri Krishnasya eveti seva krita na tu tat pratimaya. Nanda Maharaj directly served Krishna and not a deity, whereas this carpenter was serving a deity. The devotees, something is off the mark here, because I have been told since day one that there is no difference between serving the deity and service to Bhagwan. For the first time, I am hearing that a particular Acharya is distinguishing between service to deity and service directly to Bhagavan. I noted down this point because till now I have never heard. And if I go and say this in between the devotees, so there is some difference between service of deity and service of Bhagavan, they will immediately call me an offender. But dear devotees, the previous acharyas have distinguished between service to the deity and service to Sri Bhagavan. This was the first point in my life where I came across such an instance. The carpenter service cannot be like the service of Nanda Maharaj, because Nanda Maharaj directly serves Krishna, whereas this carpenter serves the deity. So what is the point, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that you want to make? Finally, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said something which really put me into great distress. Dear devotees, are you willing to listen to some bad news?
Yeah.
Please repeat after me. Tasmat sadhakena tu sakshat darshana asambhavat tat pratimaya eva seva kartavya. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, kindly read the bad news.
Since the sadhaka can never attain a direct darshan of Krishna, he should engage in serving the deity.
Oh my God. Sadhaka means practitioner, all of us. Since all of us can never attain a direct darshan of Krishna, throughout our life we should engage in service of the deity. Dear devotees, this was the first time that all right. Dear devotees, please repeat after me. Since the sadhaka, the practitioner, can never attain a direct darshan of Krishna, he should engage in serving the deity. All right? Are all of you happy?
End of class.
End of class. So I was a little depressed on hearing this, but my mind will not give up so easily, and therefore I thought maybe there is some print mistake in the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. Maybe some mistake in copying the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. In ISKCON we say something is confirmed if it is confirmed from how many sources? Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. 3 sources. Very good. Now I have one source here, and I am still searching for 2 more sources. And if 2 other sources also say that I cannot get a darshan of Krishna in Kali Yuga, then my doubts will be confirmed. So I continue to study more. Dear devotees, very soon I came across more depressing news. When I was studying through the 6 Sandarbhas of Srila Jiva Goswami, in the Krishna Sandarbha, I came across a verse which I had not seen previously. Dear devotees, I am reciting this verse. Kindly repeat after me. Pratyaksha Rupa Drigdevo Drishyate na kalau hari Pritadishvevate naisha Triyugaha paripachyate Pratyaksha Rupa Drigdevo, taking a direct form. Drishyate na, he is not seen. Kalau, in one age. Which age, dear devotees? Kali Yuga. Who is not seen? Hari. Krishna is not seen directly in the age of Kali. Kritadishu eva. In the remaining 3 ages, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, he is seen. Therefore, he has one name, Tri Yugaha. The Lord who is seen only in how many ages? 3 ages. Dear devotees, this is another verse which confirmed my worst fears. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, kindly read.
In Kali Yuga, Lord Krishna cannot be seen face to face. He is seen like that only in the previous ages. Hence, he is known as Tri Yuga, or the one who can be seen only in the remaining 3 ages.
Dear devotees, those who are not eligible for Satya Yuga, they take birth in Treta. Those who are not eligible for Treta, they take birth in Dwapar. And the rejected of the rejected of the rejected, that is myself, who took birth in Kali Yuga. And this is the only Yuga in which you cannot get a direct darshan of Sri Krishna. Now it is confirmed from a second source. Now, dear devotees, only how many sources remaining?
One.
Dear devotees, there was more depressing news on the way because my worst fears were confirmed when I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a particular section where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to Vrindavan. And when he goes to Vrindavan, there are many pilgrims who have come to Sri Vrindavan. One fine day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is staying in his particular ashram and many pilgrims come to him and say, Mahaprabhu, have you heard the news? Say, which news? Nowadays, some people are reporting that at night, some people are able to see Krishna dancing on the woods of Kaliya. You should please come and have a darshan of Krishna at night. Mahaprabhu at that point of time smiled and said, it's all right, you go and see. I'm okay here. Really, Mahaprabhu? You should come and see before the sight vanishes. Mahaprabhu said, no, you go. Next day, again a few pilgrims came and said, Mahaprabhu, yesterday some people saw Krishna dancing on the woods of Kaliya at night on the Yamuna. You should please come and have a darshan today. And Mahaprabhu laughed and said, no, you go, that's all right. I'm okay here. So, Mahaprabhu had a personal secretary. At that point of time, his name was Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Balabhadra Bhattacharya, very learned Brahmana. Balabhadra Bhattacharya said to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, can I go tonight and get a darshan of Krishna? At that point of time, Mahaprabhu lovingly slapped Balabhadra Bhattacharya and said something to him. This is what Mahaprabhu says. Please repeat after me. Krishna ke darshana, Dive kale kale, Nija brahme murkha loka, Hare kola hare. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, kindly read what Mahaprabhu said.
Why would Krishna give darshan in the age of Kali? Foolish people who are mistaken are simply causing agitation and making a tumult.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Dear devotees, this is confirmation from how many sources? 3 sources. So, dear devotees, it is now confirmed that in the age of Kali, all of us cannot get a direct darshan of Shri Krishna. All right? So this was the class. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. That's it. This is the class. You're all happy?
No.
I gave you 3 sources.
But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself said that he himself is Krishna, even though outside people might not know it, he's still existing.
See, the arguments are already coming.
How Prabhupada on the use of chariots they were seeing Krishna.
See, more arguments. The mind is refusing to believe what the Shastra says.
You can see Krishna if you're chanting.
See? You can see Krishna if you're chanting.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
like you can through all the senses you can see Krishna. Like through hearing, you can like listen to Krishna's pastimes or his devotees' pastimes. By eating, you can eat prasadam or food offered to Krishna, and by smelling, you can smell the flowers like which are being offered to Krishna's lotus
Yeah.
feet. And then also by like what you said, walking, you can walk to the holy places, and by like what's that? By by alms, the alms you can just like clean Krishna's temple,
Oh, wonderful.
and the heart you can remember, and in the heart you can just like think that there's super soul there.
Okay, wonderful. Very
Whoa.
good. I want a direct experience of Shri Krishna through all the senses simultaneously. I don't want a divided experience of Krishna. This is Krishna through the nose. And this is Krishna through the arms. That is not the experience I want. I want an experience of Sakshat Darshan of Sri Krishna. And the Kali Yuga, it is impossible to have this darshan. Shastra says.
In the deity we can actually.
Yeah. That's why I say when Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur differentiates between service to the deity and service directly to Krishna, I said many devotees will refuse to believe, even the previous acharyas, when they make such a statement.
When you are chanting
Yeah.
and looking for Krishna,
Wonderful. Dear devotees, I am in depression at this point. How many of you are in depression? Please raise your hands. Yeah. I have just been told something which I should have been told when I joined the movement.
Oh, my money back.
What about the statement of Srila Siddhanta when he says, don't be so eager to see Krishna, but
Don't be so eager to see Krishna. Work in such a way that Krishna will be eager to see you. That statement is made by an acharya who has already seen Krishna himself. He has already seen Krishna, so it's so easy for him to say to others, all the acharyas have already seen. Yes.
Why would Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who wrote the 14 steps?
Wonderful. Now you are thinking like I was thinking. On one side, you say there are 14 stages of progress, in one of which is darshan. On another purport, you reject and say that you cannot get a darshan. Yes. So you want Brigopati, you wanted to say something?
The only ones of what you have to qualify yourself. The first to touch Sri Krishna Namadi,
Wonderful.
When somebody becomes qualified,
Sure, but Shastra is repeatedly saying that in Kali Yuga nobody can see. And I gave 3 pramana, including this one. Why would Krishna give darshan in the age of Kali?
To general populace, maybe.
yeah.
No interpretation.
So you mean to say that even the Goswamis having darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they didn't experience through all the senses?
So that is a big question. But the Goswamis have said, I quoted Jiva Goswami when he said, Tri Yuga, Krishna is not seen in the age of Kali. Therefore, one of the names of Krishna is Tri Yuga. He who is seen in the previous 3 ages, but not seen in Kali Yuga. Dear devotees, I will resolve the controversy. Please don't worry, all right? I'll not leave you like this, all right? Now I was very depressed and I was trying to, because this was 10 years ago, I was trying to find out, why was it not mentioned on the first page of the first book that I read? In the beginning, they all encourage you, chant Hare Krishna, follow the regulative principles, and you will see Krishna face to face. 10 years later, I come to know that somewhere hidden within a commentary is the fact that in the age of Kali, you cannot get a direct darshan of Sri Krishna. Is there a resignation letter, dear devotees? Can I write a letter to dear Sri Krishna? I tried my best to get a direct darshan of you. Unfortunately, I did not know that a darshan is not possible in this age. I hereby resign. No longer your servant. Right? But this is not possible because Prabhupada said all of you are hopelessly attached now. You can't go back, and you will be forcibly dragged to perfection, and so many statements. But still, I am very depressed, and dear devotees, the biggest question is that if I cannot get to see Krishna in this life directly face to face, as Shastra is saying repeatedly, what do I aim for? Because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, Sakshat Darshan Asambhavat. It is impossible to attain a direct darshan. Jiva Goswami is saying that Lord is seen only in the previous 3 ages, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused to see Krishna dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. Later it was found out that it was some boatman trying to do some, jugglery. So what do I aim for and what am I supposed to do in my spiritual life? Krishna has now disappeared. Dear devotees, with a very heavy heart, I prayed to Sri Krishna that it is very difficult now for me to see you in this particular age. Please try to help me. And at that point of time, I prayed to my Ishtadev, my beloved deity, Sri Radha Damodar. The devotee Sri Radha Damodar Ji. So gradually the month of Kartik came up, and all the devotees started saying to me that we will go to Vrindavan. Are you going to come to Vrindavan with us? I said, what will I do by coming to Vrindavan? Well, we will go and get darshan of Krishna. And I used to say to them, you cannot get darshan of Krishna. No, seeing the deity is directly seeing Krishna. I said, I don't want to argue with you. There is a difference between getting direct darshan and getting darshan of deity. The acharyas have said, but I don't want to argue with you because you will not believe it. But still, devotee said, still please come. I said, all right, I will try to come. Somehow I booked a last minute ticket and I went to Sri Vrindavan. And dear devotees, in Vrindavan, I went to Radha Damodar temple. In the Radha Damodar temple, in the month of Kartik, we sing a particular song. Which song do we sing in Kartik? So when I was singing Damodar Ashtakam, some answers started coming to me. I started noticing that in Damodar Ashtakam, a specific point is being repeated twice in 2 consecutive verses. Who knows the 4th verse of Damodar Ashtakam?
Namo Deva Damodar.
Okay, let's sing together. Namo. This is not the 4th verse, dear devotees. Param Deva Moksha Moksha Varimva Najanyam Vedema Varisharapita Idam Deva Purnam Next verse. Idam Devo Amboja Madhyandamita Vritam Kundavisnidaraktasya Vitam Viparatamne Manasya Virasam Arangashyame. Verse 4 also says Manasi Avirastam. Verse 5 also says Manasi Avirastam. What is the meaning of Manasi Avirastam? Please appear within my mind. Question arises. Satyavrat Muni, the person who wrote Damodar Ashtakam, is not from Kali Yuga. Satyavrat Muni is from Satya Yuga. In Satya Yuga, can you see the Lord face to face, dear devotees?
Yes.
If you can see the Lord face to face in Satya Yuga, why is Satyavrat Muni praying again and again for the Lord to appear in the mind? You do not usually repeat the same point in 2 consecutive verses because that is a fault of repetition. But if the sage wants to emphasize a particular point, then he will repeat it in consequent verses, which Satyavrat Muni has done here. He has repeated the point that Damodar should appear within his mind. why did Satyavrat Muni say that Damodar should appear within his mind? I wanted to find out the answer, but immediately when I was in the Radha Damodar temple, I had no answers. Fortunately, dear devotees, I remembered that the Damodar Ashtakam originally appears in one literature in our Sampradaya. Which literature does Damodar Ashtakam appear for the first time in our Sampradaya?
Hari Bhakti Vilas.
Hari Bhakti Vilas. And fortunately, there is a commentary in Sanskrit on Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sri Sanatan Goswami. I wanted to see if Sanatan Goswami had addressed this point, why Satyavrat Muni is repeating the point of appearing within the mind. And I fortunately found out that Sri Sanatan Goswami addresses this point. Dear devotees, at this point of time, Sri Sanatan Goswami gives the following commentary, and please repeat after me. Antardarshana Mahatmyam Cha Shri Bhagavatamrita Uttarakhande Vivritya Uktam Asti. Sri Sanatan Goswami introduces a term that I had never seen before, Antardarshan. How many of us have heard of this term before? Dear devotees, yes. Antardarshan was a term that I heard for the first time. This is the translation Dameshwar Mahaprabhu kindly read.
The glories of Antardarshan are described in the later half of Brihat Bhagavatamrita.
As soon as I heard this particular term, I was immediately interested because Sanatan Goswami is trying to introduce a new concept which is related directly to Darshan. And he says latter half of Brihad Bhagavatam. Brihad Bhagavatamrita is already very huge. So I had to search through the latter half of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And in the latter half of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, I found the exact place where Sanatan Goswami has described what are the glories of Antardarshan. There is a section, dear devotees, the Brihad Bhagavatamritam is about a boy named Gopakumar. All of us have heard about Gopakumar?
No.
Yes. He has been given a mantra of Madan Gopal by his guru. By chanting this mantra, he is elevating himself from one planet to another planet. Suddenly, he comes across the planet known as Tapahalok. Tapahalok is the planet where all the great perfected sages stay. There he meets the sage named Pippalayan. Pippalayan is one of the Nava Yogendras, one of the sons of Lord Rishabdev. And Pippalayan asks something to Gopakumar. Dear devotees, what Pippalayan asks is very, very important. And this is recorded in the Brihad Bhagavatamritam. Please repeat after me. Katham bhramasi drashtum Drikvyam tam parameshwaram Samadhatsva manahasviyam Tato drakshyasi tam swatah Sarvatra bahirantascha Sada sakshadivasthitam. So Pippalayan says to Gopakumar, Gopakumar, why are you roaming from one planet to another planet? Gopakumar says, because I want to get a darshan of my Lord. Pippalayan says, Gopakumar, Katham va brahmasi drashtum. Why are you roaming here and there? Drikbhyam tam parameshwaram. To see Bhagwan with your eyes. Samadhatsva manah sviyam tato drakshyasi tam swatam. Dear devotees, at this point of time, Pippalayan says something which is very important for all of us to understand. I will ask you a few questions. All right? Please answer those questions to me. Dear devotees, Pippalayan Muni asked Gopakumar, if you happen to see Krishna with your eyes, who is the actual receiver of happiness?
Krishna.
The eyes or the heart?
The heart.
So then why are you struggling to see Bhagwan with your eyes? I will ask you two questions now, dear devotees. Please answer those questions. First question. Let's say you are given two options and you have to select only one option. All right. Option one. You will see Krishna through the eyes, but you will feel nothing within the heart. Option 2. You will see Krishna in the heart but see nothing through the eyes. Which
Number
option
two.
do you want?
Number two.
Alright, so seeing through the eyes is not important.
The blind see may not be able to see through heart.
Second question. Can a blind man see Krishna?
Yes.
How?
The heart.
So dear devotees, if the actual happiness is experienced within the heart, why do we struggle so much to try to see Krishna through the eyes? This was the question that Pipalayan Muni asked Gopakumar. Pipalayan Muni says, actually the eyes are only carrying the false ego of being the seer. I saw Krishna. The eyes are merely an optical instrument. Actual happiness is received only within the heart, dear devotees, not through the eyes. Therefore, more important than Bahir Darshan, seeing Krishna through the eyes, is Antar Darshan, seeing Krishna through the heart. This is the concept of Antar Darshan that Sri Sanatana Goswami wanted to explain to all of us. Dear devotees, then I realized that all the acharyas are actually praying for a darshan of Krishna through the eye of the heart. For example, we are singing in Brahma Samhita. Let's sing together. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanita Sada Sadaiva Sadaiva Hridayeshu. What does Hridayeshu mean? Not Nayaneshu, not through the eyes, dear devotees. All the saintly souls always see Krishna within the heart. Acha, now I will ask another question. Let's say today or in this particular life, all of us attain perfection and go back to Godhead, to Goloka Vrindavan. And when we go to Goloka Vrindavan, will we be able to see Krishna face to face?
Yes.
And when Krishna goes for herding the cows, will we be able to see Krishna face to face?
Yes.
In the heart.
Face to face.
No.
Even in Goloka Vrindavan. Is it possible to see Krishna face to face 24 hours a day?
No.
But when it is not possible to see Krishna face to face, even in Goloka Vrindavan, where is Krishna seen, dear devotees?
In
The heart.
So which is the most important darshan, dear devotees? Antar darshan or Bahir darshan?
Antar Darshan.
Is the most important thing to be had by the devotee. Acha. Now, in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna was seen by each and everyone during his manifest presence. Now, I will ask a question. Did Shishupal see Krishna face to face?
Yes.
Yes.
Did Duryodhan see Krishna face to face?
Yes.
Did Kamsa see?
Yes.
Do we want to see Krishna like them?
No.
Why?
Because the
They had
intention was different.
The power is
But they got to see Krishna.
They had no feeling.
But the intention is
Yeah.
different.
They wanted the demoniac. They were thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day. Like Kamsa was thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day when he was revealed, eating, sleeping, drinking, even walking.
I think he's the best member of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Yes,
She said, the intention is different. He wanted to kill Krishna, so and also afraid of Krishna. So because of that, he was thinking of it.
wonderful. So, dear devotees, yes.
When Duryodhan saw Krishna, he didn't understand who Krishna is. He thought he was some mystic.
Wonderful. So, dear devotees, Duryodhan, Kamsa, Shishupal, they all had Bahir Darshan, but they did not have one Darshan. Which Darshan did they not have?
Antar
Darshan.
This is the entire difference between Antar Darshan and Bahir Darshan. First and foremost, we should get which Darshan, dear devotees?
Antar Darshan.
Antar Darshan is still possible in Kali Yuga. Therefore, when Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the 13th stage of advancement is Darshan, he is referring to which Darshan?
Antar Darshan.
Darshan within the heart. And in some exceptional cases, in Kali Yuga also Krishna may give Bahir Darshan. But this is not the rule, this is the exception. I will give you an example. In Kali Yuga, did Madhavendra Puri see Krishna face to face?
Yes.
Did Sri Rupa Goswami see Krishna face to face?
Yeah.
In 1960s, there was one particular personality who gave up everything for the sake of Sri Krishna. He sacrificed his entire family, his entire business. Everything was sacrificed. Dear devotees, when he boarded the Jaladuta ship to carry on the order of his spiritual master, there was practically nobody who came to see him off except for one family member. With 40 rupees in his pocket, dear devotees, Srila Prabhupada climbed on the ship. And on the very first night, dear devotees, there was an immense, intense test. What happened on the very first night? And not one heart attack, two heart attacks. Dear devotees, here is a personality who has given up everything for Sri Krishna. Still, there is a test. If it would have been anybody else, perhaps they might have given up. But this was not just anybody else. This was Srila Prabhupada. And in the most unfavorable circumstance, Srila Prabhupada does not give up his most important quality, his favorability towards Krishna. And there Prabhupada says, Krishna, if you want me to fail, I will happily fail here today. Dear devotees, usually Krishna does not appear in Kali Yuga. Not in a metal container, dear devotees. Not in a metal container. Krishna appears with his entourage on a golden chariot. He doesn't appear in a metal container. But on that particular night, Sri Krishna appeared within the metal container in front of Srila Prabhupada. And he kept his hand on the chest of Srila Prabhupada and said, Dear Abhay, now you don't need to worry. Now I will take care of everything else. Therefore, when Prabhupada came here to the United States, he used to confidently say, now it's only a matter of time. The temples are already there. It's only a matter of time. That darshan that Srila Prabhupada had was Bahir darshan. Darshan directly to the eyes. And on that particular night, Srila Prabhupada also had Antar darshan. Because Srila Prabhupada saw that all the incarnations of Sri Krishna are carrying the ship through the ocean. Srila Prabhupada didn't come out of the ship to see this. He was right in his room, but in his heart he saw all the incarnations of Sri Krishna are carrying the ship through the ocean. So on that particular night, Srila Prabhupada had both darshans. One is Bahir darshan and one is Antar darshan. Dear devotees, we can get any one of this and it is equivalent. There is no difference between Antar darshan and Bahir darshan. If we get any one of those darshans, our life is completely successful. Dear devotees, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur had said, and I will bring you back to the point where he had said, your life is successful if you have darshan of Krishna how many times? Once. Then I read the same poem again and I read the remaining two lines. So I will read the remaining two lines. Please repeat after me. Vikasya Rinayana Hari Krishna Darshana Sare Jiva Chittera Vikara.
His life is successful who has attained a darshan of Krishna at least once in his life. Developing the eyes of the heart, one gets darshan, and thus the jiva gives up all impurities of the heart.
Developing the eyes of the heart. That is the most important darshan, dear devotees, that we should aspire for. So the conclusion is as follows. Please hear. In Kali Yuga, in general, one cannot get one type of darshan, which is Bahir darshan. Very few exceptional cases will get that type of darshan. But the rule in Kali Yuga is that each and every one of us, after attaining the stage of prema, can get one particular darshan, and which darshan is that? Antar darshan. Bahir darshan is reserved only for very exceptional cases because this is not the time of appearance of Sri Krishna. Krishna already appeared in Dwapar Yuga. That was the time when Shishupal also got Bahir Darshan, Duryodhan also got Bahir Darshan, Kamsa also got Bahir Darshan. But do we want to get Bahir Darshan like them?
No.
We want to get which darshan, dear devotees?
Antardarshan.
Please keep this term with you in your heart, and I sincerely hope that all of you are able to attain this stage of Antardarshan like Satyavrat Muni prayed to Sri Damodar. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. यदत्र स्खलितं किंचित विद्वांसः पूरयन्तु तत् यदत्र सौष्ठवं किंचित तद्गुरोरेव मे नहीं यदत्र स्खलितं किंचित. It's possible I might have made some mistakes while speaking. Vidvamsah, you are learned devotees, purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. Yadatra saushavam kinchit. But if there's anything nice in the presentation, please remember, tad guroreva. It belongs to my gurujanas. Me nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Mataji, are we over time or do we have time for question and
We
answer?
have time.
We have time. So, yes, Shamchandra Prabhu.
So you said about Antardarshan is more important, right? Then why are the gopis so distressed when Krishna left Vrindavan? Right? They're already having Antardarshan, right? Then why were they distressed?
Wonderful question. If Antardarshan is more important, why are the gopis distressed when Krishna leaves Vrindavan? This distress is also very pleasurable. I'm not joking. The distress is very pleasurable. Do all of you believe that distress is pleasurable?
No.
Acha, I will convince all of you in one argument. All right? Huh? Please hear my argument carefully. I'm giving an argument which most of you can relate to. I come from Mumbai. And Mumbai is a city in India which has taken the sole responsibility of spoiling the entire India. Because there's one industry in Mumbai. Which industry? Yeah, so all of you are experienced already. So Bollywood is the industry which produces millions of songs every year. Many of these songs are love songs. Love songs can be categorized into two types: songs of union, songs of separation. Can you imagine which songs are appreciated more in Bollywood? Union or separation? Separation. See, the overwhelming majority is saying songs of separation are appreciated more. If separation is painful in the material world, why is separation appreciated so much even in the material world?
They're appreciated for the philosophy in them, not the song itself.
Maybe.
It's just the heart. It's just the heart.
Oh,
Like the shadow of the spiritual world.
yes, it's a shadow of the spiritual
They don't
world.
like philosophy.
Okay, I will give the secret. Please hear carefully. Dear devotees, separation is the other side of the coin of union. In the spiritual world, both separation and union are extremely pleasurable. There is no suffering involved, material suffering involved at all, even when Krishna leaves Vrindavan. Krishna will never put any of his associates even in the tiniest bit of material suffering. But this suffering, it externally appears as distress, but actually it is the greatest pleasure. In the Padyavali, there is a verse about this, and I will quote this verse because this verse proves what is the I will sing this verse. This verse is in the meter Arya. This is Padyavali 214. Please repeat after me. Sangama viraha vikalpe. Sangama viraha vikalpe. Varamiha viraho na sangamantasya. Ekah sa eva sange. Tribhuvanamapi tanmayam virahe. Tribhuvanamapi tanmayam virahe. Sangama viraha vikalpe. Sri Radha is asked, what do you want, union or separation? He said, vikalpe, if I am given a choice, varamiha viraho, I will select separation. Na sangamastasya, not union with him. What is the reason? Ekah sa eva sange. When he is with me, I see him in only one place. But Tanmayam Virahe. In separation from him, my entire universe is filled with him. Everywhere I see him. This is Sri Radha's direct statement in Srila Rupa Goswami's Padayavali. So this is the translation. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, kindly read. Prabhupada often gave some apparently contradictory statements. One statement says that your rasa is already fixed in the spiritual world. You just have to realize it. Another statement which says that you can develop a rasa of your choice. How do we resolve this particular contradiction? So my answer is that this contradiction is not originating with Srila Prabhupada. The previous acharyas also have had some difference of opinion over this particular topic. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his clear opinion is that the rasa of the living entity is eternally fixed in the spiritual world. And other acharyas say that you can develop a rasa according to the selection of your association. Now, how do we reconcile both these statements? We can reconcile both of these statements as follows. Please hear carefully. In the spiritual world, each and every one of us can have access to a potential rasa. This potential is fixed for all the living entities. The capacity to experience rasa is fixed for all the living entities. There is no living entity who does not have a container to experience rasa. Every living entity has a container to experience rasa. The exact flavor of rasa that will be filled may be determined by the association that we have. This is how we can reconcile. So the potential to experience rasa is eternally present within the heart of each and every living entity. But the specific flavor of rasa is something which can be determined by the association that one takes. Because if the rasa is fixed for all the living entities, then some of us may be Narayan Bhaktas, then what are we doing in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness? So, the potential to experience rasa is permanently fixed within the heart of all the living entities. But the specific flavor can be determined by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Also, Srila Prabhupada said you can experience Shantaras. In his lecture, he said you can experience Shantaras. But technically speaking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never gives Shantaras. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected Shantaras from his Sampradaya. Only 4 rasas are given. Dear devotees, which 4 rasas are given? Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Shanta is completely rejected from the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Therefore, our names don't begin with Shanta. Is Acharya Narottam Shanta? No. What is it? Das. So the basis of all the relationships in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is Dasya, and that is how all the relationships begin. Prabhupada might have given an example, but the fact is that the potential to experience a rasa is present in the hearts of each and every one, but the specific flavor will be decided by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the sadhus whom we associate with. That is how this can be reconciled. So that is the answer to the query.
Like, I just want a small comment to make. Like, it's from the previous, like the question before this previous question. So when you like have the direct associate of Krishna, do you what do you say? You do you are happy, right? But when you get separated from him and then you join him, you feel 10 million times that happiness.
When you are meeting Krishna, you are happy. And when you are separated from Krishna, you are happy in a very different way. That is called separation. Both are happiness. But we prefer, yes, the question is, yeah, the question is, he is saying that when you are separated from Krishna and then you meet Krishna, you become 10 million times happy. The question is, where is it mentioned in Shastra?
Like there was this instance is like I have a book at home called Guide to Navadvipa. So that book says like there's I don't remember the source, but it says that you're happy when you like meet Krishna, right? But and and you're happy in a very different way when you're separate from Krishna. But when you unite with him again, you become really, really happy because you haven't seen him in a long, long time.
All right. So when you are again united with Krishna, you become really, really happy because you haven't seen him in a long, long time. And when you are again separated from him, then you also become happier because the level of happiness is not going to decrease in the spiritual world. Therefore, we cannot compare the happinesses of union and separation. Both of them are different types of happiness. A devotee wants to become united with Sri Krishna, but at the same time, separation is also a very sweet feeling which many devotees want to relish. There are many verses in the Padyavali where devotees experience separation from Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the final years of his life in Gambhira, what did he relish? Union or separation? Why?
More rasa.
There is more rasa in separation. There is greater amount of rasa in separation. Only those who are rasikas, they understand what is the joy of separation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to experience separation from Sri Krishna. He could have spent the final years of his life relishing union, but no, he wanted to relish separation. Yes, please.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
One is, what if you have dream about Krishna? You have seen Krishna in dream, Kali Yuga.
So, okay, what if you have a dream about Krishna? So that is called as swapna. That is not technically called as darshan because darshan comes only after prema. And after prema, the darshan that you get, it will give rise to sattvika vikaras. It will give rise to all the 8 ecstatic bodily symptoms. So what you see in a dream is called swapna. It is not technically called as darshan. Darshan is something which happens only after attaining the stage of prema. So that is the answer. Yes, second problem. I'll come to
Second question.
Yeah.
Second question is, there is another controversy, different opinion between previous acharyas and later one about did we fall from the spiritual world or we are going there. So,
All right.
so how
So the question is, there is a controversy that did we fall from the spiritual world or did we not fall? So I can answer any question in the world, but this is one question around which there is a GBC resolution in 1995. The 1995 GBC resolution says that you cannot take any other side besides the side which the GBC has taken on this particular issue, especially in a public program. So I have my personal understanding of this issue. My own Shiksha Gurus used to see Srila Prabhupada himself has given different statements in different parts of his books, and my own Shiksha Gurus have taken sides on this particular issue. But I don't want to influence anybody with what my Shiksha Gurus have said. So what I would like to say is that one should compare the statements of the previous acharyas and one should compare it with the statements of Srila Prabhupada, and one should also give respect to all the positions that the GBC has taken, and one should come to a convincing logical statement by oneself in this regard, because I can answer any question, including this question also I can answer, but I will rather not answer it on a public platform because I don't want to get an email saying all right, okay. Yes, Prabhu.
So, anything which we experience now, the way we set up is that the gross and subtle body we have, and we have Chitta, Manasbuddhi, and Ahankara.
Yeah.
Everything is unmanifested in Chitta, and it kind of manifests in other forms. That's how we get perception, right? So when we get Antardarshan also, I mean, how can we experience something which we don't have written? I mean, we only have a comparison, right? You experience something which you already have some impression in your Chitta. Otherwise, you cannot experience it. That is what called Anirvachaniya, means inexplainable. So, but Krishna is something which Anagrachaniya. Like, how can you explain something which is Anirvachaniya and which is not spiritual in Antardarshan? Because and where is it coming from?
Wonderful. So his question is, our experience generally happens through our senses, and the senses are basically a collection of impressions that we have had from so many previous lives. Since we have no previous experience of Krishna, how does that darshan of Krishna become possible? How do we finally end up perceiving Sri Krishna when our senses have no previous experience of it? This is answered in the Sandarbhas by Sri Jiva Goswami. In Bhagavad Sandarbha, Sri Jiva Goswami specifically mentions a point that when Sri Krishna wants to appear in front of somebody's heart or somebody's eyes, first and foremost, Sri Krishna gives that particular potency of Antaranga Shakti, the internal potency, by which the living entity is able to have a glance of Sri Krishna. Now, in the commentary to Anyabhilashita Shunyam, Jiva Goswami explains it in detail. Please hear carefully. He says all the senses are material. Basically, the hands are material, the eyes are material, all the ears are material, everything is material. But when Bhakti Shakti or the Antaranga Shakti comes in contact with the material senses, she becomes one with the function of the material senses. And thus, she renders the senses into semi transcendental. I hope you're able to understand. Senses are material, but when Bhakti Devi descends on the senses become semi transcendental. And this is how they are able to have access to Bhakti and access to Sri Krishna. Otherwise, it is not possible. Ataha Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyai. But swayam eva spurati. What is the meaning of swayam eva spurati? He himself manifests. We cannot grasp him. It is not possible.
So when Shishupal is saying, then how the senses are acting then? That is not semi.
That is Dwapar Yuga. When Krishna will be visible to everybody, his internal potency has made him manifest even to the demons. But is this Dwapar Yuga? Is this the scheduled time for Krishna's incarnation? If we were in Dwapar Yuga, even without bhakti, we would have seen Krishna. But now is not the time. Therefore, he is known as Tri Yuga. The Bhagwan who is seen on only how many ages? 3 ages. So during his scheduled incarnation, you can see him irrespective of whether you are a devotee or not a devotee. But
Yes, so Shishupal is seeing Krishna without Bhakti Shakti.
without Bhakti Shakti. But he is able to see Krishna because Antaranga Shakti is manifesting his form. What is it called? Sandhini. Sandhini is manifesting his form, but he doesn't have any mercy from Hladini Shakti. Bhakti is potency of which Shakti? Sandhini, Samvit or Hladini? Hladini Shakti. So the Sandhini Shakti manifests his form, but Hladini Shakti has no mercy on Shishupal. That is the answer to it.
That means that first of all, it was not there in the soul.
What?
That means that there was never Hladini potency in the soul to begin with.
That's a separate topic altogether. Whether bhakti is inherent in the soul or not. Okay. So I'll come to you, Dameshwar Mahaprabhu, but before, yes.
This is related to Antar Darshan. I was wondering if you could flesh out the different darshans. Because when we chant, we still feel Krishna in our hearts. But then you're also saying that Antar Darshan is very different, that one attains that after prema. So what are the symptoms of Antar Darshan? And do we experience it in minute quantities before?
Yeah. So the question is, what are the various categorizations of darshan? And do we experience when we chant, we remember Krishna? Is that also a type of darshan? And how do we categorize those intermittent visions of Sri Krishna? Right? That is technically known as smaran. What you are performing at that point of time is smaran. Smaran is when your effort is involved. Darshan is not your effort. Darshan is Krishna descends. That is the main difference between Smaran and Darshan. Darshan is Krishna descends without our effort. Smaran is our effort. In a purport to 8th verse of Upadeshamritam, Srila Prabhupada clarifies this in great detail, and I will specify this in Nectar of Instruction, 8th verse purport. Srila Prabhupada says something, and I will yeah, this is the paragraph. I consider this one of the most important paragraphs written by Srila Prabhupada in his books. Can you please read from? Are you able to see this? No?
I can read it.
Prabhu, please read.
When one is able to chant in ecstasy, he attains the stage of smaranavastha, the stage of remembering. Recollection, absorption, meditation, constant remembrance, and trance are the 5 items of progressive Krishna smarana. At first, remembrance of Krishna may be interrupted at intervals, but later remembrance proceeds uninterrupted.
At first, remembrance may be interrupted. Later, remembrance proceeds uninterrupted. Further, Prabhupada develops this entire point, and then finally he comes to this. Prabhu, kindly read this.
By uninterrupted and unceasing anusmriti, one enters the state of samadhi or spiritual trance.
When remembrance becomes so constant that you cannot remember anybody besides Krishna, you have attained the final stage called samadhi. In samadhi, you get prema. In prema, you get darshan. That is the difference between smaran and darshan. So, in the eighth purport to the eighth verse of Nectar of Instruction, that difference is found. I hope that answers your query.
What's the difference between Smriti and Anusmriti?
Anu means constant. Okay. Dameshwar Mahaprabhu, we'll go to you, then we'll go to Irina. Yes, Dameshwar Mahaprabhu.
Thank you. In the lives of Dhruva Maharaj and Narada Muni, by their sadhana, they came to the stage where they saw Bhagavan within their heart. And then that vision disappeared. They opened their eyes and saw Bhagavan standing before them. But then after that, Bhagavan disappeared. And he actually said to Narada Muni, I'm going to show you my form just once.
Right.
To spark your desire so you can finish off the last of your purification. So my understanding from the acharyas was you get internal vision of Bhagavan at the stage of bhava, and then that hankering to see him again takes you to the stage of prema, and then you get the external vision when you enter into the Bhauma Leelas, the pastimes of the Lord in the material world. It seemed like what you presented was different, especially where it says that darshan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is talking about, comes after prema and it's internal.
Yes.
Could you reconcile these?
Wonderful. Yeah. So the question is, when exactly Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is speaking about darshan? Is he speaking about darshan after attaining the perfected stage in Bhauma Vrindavan? Is he speaking about darshan in this particular life? He's speaking about darshan in this particular life after attaining the stage of prema. In Madhurya Kadambini, he has given the details. He has specified that Krishna sometimes appears and then disappears, appears and then disappears. And the disappearance is to increase the hankering of the devotee. In this body, which is called as sadhaka deha, you can attain till the stage of prema. And darshan will be intermittent, appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing. After this body, when you attain siddha deha, perfected body, then you will attain further stages of prema, which is sneha, man, pranaya, rag, anurag, mahabhav, etc. In this body, you can only attain till the stage of prema. And prema is the 13th stage, 12th stage. And after 12th stage is darshan. So darshan is an after effect of attaining prema, but that darshan is coming and going in the sadhak body. Therefore, even sadhakas like Madhavendra Puri at the end of his life, he's basically saying, I lost Krishna, my life is unsuccessful. Where did Krishna go? Ha Mathura Nath Kadavaloke say, oh Lord of Mathura, when will I see you again? So this is because Krishna disappears sometimes from their vision. So this is what is possible in this body. Mainly antardarshan. Occasionally, maybe exceptional cases bahirdarshan. Mainly antardarshan. Mainly it is antardarshan for the sadhakas. After you leave this body, you attain Bhauma Vrindavan, bahirdarshan. But even in that, bahirdarshan is not 24 hours. Krishna sometimes goes to the forest. Pravas. That is technically called pravas. When he goes to the forest, then you will not be able to see him. Then you will again be able to have darshan in the heart. So that is what it is. So I hope that clarifies. Yes. Irina, I think we'll take the last question from her today and then we'll pause. All right? Yes.
So there's 14 stages, and it's just ISKCON. Lord Chaitanya also gave like the process of development. So if we would like reconcile which one is which verse like in this this process.
Yeah, that's a big question actually. What is the correlation between the 14 stages and the 8 verses of Shikshashtakam?
That's a whole class.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Say one more thing.
after the Prashadam, we can have another class.
The symptoms of all the stages are seen in the verses in Shikshashtakam. Like in the first verse, it says Purnamrita Swadanam, like the experience of the most complete nectar. So this also is basically speaking about prema and darshan. But uh, if you want a specific categorization, I will have to make a new categorization because Shikshashtakam is by Mahaprabhu and these 14 stages are by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Nobody has attempted to make a correlation, but I can be the first one to do that. But I don't know how effective my commentary will be or how authoritative it will be considered. But I can definitely try to do that. But my general answer is that in many of the verses, all the elements of the advanced stages of bhakti are to be found, although you can try to draw a sequence in the Shikshashtakam like the Acharyas have drawn. But there are verses about darshan also. Ashlishya va padaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marma hatam karotu va yada tatha va vidadhatu lampato mat prananathastu sa eva napa. This is after attaining darshan, the mood of a devotee. But I'll try to do that, but it is a very, it's a big exercise in its own.
Then may I ask the first verse, is it, because I always thought that it's when we just humming, chanting the golden names, and we get this like free stuff. I was like, no, that's the happiness. I don't know what happiness is about. And then when the free stuff ending, now Krishna like, all right, now I want to see your effort. You like left second verse, which is gratitude, and understand that I have no attraction for all names.
Right. So the initial attraction is because things are very new. And you can keep the attraction going. You don't have to go through any period of difficulty or struggle if we know how to keep the newness on the path of bhakti. Most of us think that we have to go through a path of struggle in between, immense struggle. But that is not the case. If we have good guidance with us, a good sadhu present with us, from beginning to end, the sadhu can ensure that the path is full of unlimited joy. What we do is we think that the newness is over. Now we have to struggle, and finally at the end, Krishna will give us something. That is not how it is. It is pratipadam. What is the meaning of pratipadam purnamrita swadanam?
Every step.
Every step it is. But it depends on our attitude. If we turn the process into ku dukkham, it is susukham actually. Susukham kartum avyayam. We turn it into ku dukkham kartum avyayam. We turn it into a very miserable process, which it is not. Because our perception of Krishna is the Bhagwan sitting with the axe. When are you going to make the next mistake? And I'll chop off your head. All right, huh? So that impression that we have of Sri Krishna is an incorrect impression. Krishna is actually most merciful, Deen Bandhu, and he is waiting for us to reciprocate with him through prema. But we should have proper association of a sadhu who will tell us how Krishna consciousness is nectarian at each and every step. It is not at all difficult to give up sense gratification, provided we have a proper sadhu who can guide us how to come out of the entire thing. So please don't think like this that the initial days of happiness are over. Now I am in the days of my struggle. Even now, if with the proper attitude, you can have a great time. All right. So I will pause here. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Who all has cooked for the prasadam? Mataji, your name? Kamal Gopi Mataji and Mahati Mataji and Radha Paduli Mataji. Let's have a big round of applause for all the devotees of church. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.